Yo, this is the ancient Texan. Guess what? The current status quo with regard to abortion favors the Democrats. And the Democrats probably have very little incentive to changing anything. Let's think about it for a second. Roe v. Wade used to guarantee abortion rights to everybody. Along came the latest ruling out of the Supreme Court, and it says, nope, abortion rights are controlled by the states. So, for a person living in a red state, if you need an abortion, it's got harder. You got to go to a blue state to get your abortion. But now let's look at the red states. The blue states aren't affected that much because they were pro-abortion before Roe v. Wade. They're still for it. Their life hasn't changed much. But let's look at the red states. What if you're in Texas and you want to get an abortion? Not so easy anymore. So turns out that most people living in Texas or Florida or Alabama or any of the other red states, most of them think abortion should be allowed. Now, exact conditions vary. So the red states, the places that are already Republican, are less likely to vote Republican. And the blue states kind of go on with their lives like before. So if you were a Democrat in Congress, would you want to change this picture? Politics is all about power and staying in power. If you're a Democrat, want to stay in power, I think you just keep your hands off of the abortion issue. You just say you're for it. Then let the Republicans drive their trucks into the fence. Because Republicans don't have a real good for the states that are red. Republicans have kind of screwed themselves. A few percentage of those previously loyal Republicans are going to vote Democratic because they don't like the position the Republicans have taken. Before, when Roe v. Wade was still in power, and that was the status quo, then Democrats were kind of in control of the situation and Republicans were against. Now Republicans are in control of the situation, and it's pretty easy to be against because they now own the issue. It's their issue. And they've taken off the back of the Democrats that issue and taken it up on themselves. So they've actually produced them, kind of put themselves into a quandary here. I mean, I don't quite know how to play it if I was a Republican. And then there's our friend Lindsey Graham, South Carolina. comes up with the idea that they should pass a national bill saying abortions after 15 weeks were illegal nationwide. Wow, what a strange maneuver. What the crap does that do? First, it's another way of saying abortions are legal before 15 weeks. And they're illegal after 15 weeks. And he also defines a lot of exceptions like rape, incest, that kind of stuff. So it's actually kind of a compromise bill between what Republicans and Democrats want. How weird. Of course, he can propose it, and it's just a red herring because he doesn't have the ability to get that on the ballot and vote on it in the House, so, or the Senate. Nobody's got any. There's not going to be any abortion bills in Congress. So Lindsey Graham has this against abortion after 15 weeks, but it's also a for abortion before 15 weeks. You see the irony in that? It's a Republican talking about passing a bill that would make abortions legal up to 15 weeks. It's almost like he's trying to be the middleman. Middlemen don't exist anymore. They can't survive in America. Only people at the extreme can survive in politics in America, apparently. So where does that leave us? Well, it leaves Republicans kind of in a pickle. Blue states are the same. Red states, they've made it a lot harder for themselves. So purple states for Republicans are kind of like a disaster waiting to happen because they don't have really a game plan for how to play this new abortion card to keep their religious zealots in line. They got to be anti-abortion hardcore, or most moderate Republicans, independents. They need to soften up there a little bit and have some exceptions for abortions at least. And they probably need to have pro-abortion bills, positions to keep a lot of middle of the road Republicans happy. So Republicans are kind of screwed. But there's something I want to point out. The Democrats are the ones that are benefiting from this new political reality of abortion. Why would they want to give it up? Under what circumstance would they want a national bill that has abortion in it in any way whatsoever? Why would they want to pass something that Republicans could unite against? Why would the Democrats want to change anything about abortion? It's their trump card at the moment. As long as the situation stays like it is, it gives the Democrats a couple of percentage of people voting their way that didn't used to vote their way. And it's probably going to stay that way for a long time if it's carefully managed. I mean, it could stay that way for decades. It could be a big event forever. So you might be thinking about, well, what does this new situation have to do with, like the average American or the girl, woman needing an abortion that lives in a red state or a purple state? Well, I think they're screwed. I think Democrats and independents that favor abortion are going to have to belly up to the bar and put some money down. One, help get the abortion pill out there. And two, help pay for transportation to the blue states to get abortions. So the public is going to lose. They've already lost. But that loss is going to stay in place, and people are going to be affected in the red states for a long time because the Democrats are not going to be inclined to change the situation when there's a little opening. I'm not sure they can too much anyway. But it's certainly not to their advantage to pass anything at a national level that can unite the Republicans. So isn't that weird that the present situation favors the Democrats? And the Democrats are not going to be motivated at all to change the situation. It's going to have to be Republicans that try to pass a national abortion bill. And if that national abortion bill is anti-abortion, the Republicans know that they've just shot themselves in the foot for like eternity. Their foot's going to keep bleeding. So their bill would have to be something like Graham proposed, essentially making abortion above a certain date and conditions illegal, but below that window, 15 weeks, 20 weeks, I don't know. It's going to have to make it legal. And he's introduced some exceptions, so that means all exceptions are on the table to be discussed. So Republicans are going to have to own the issue and come up with something that is kind of like a national law in place of Roe v. Wade. Republicans are the only ones motivated to do it. Yet, how do they hold on to their base, the religious guys, by passing something that allows abortion under some conditions? So I think we're stuck in this situation with abortion for the rest of my lifetime, for sure. Just not. And I think it's just given a shift of a couple of percent to the Democrats in all elections. Now, there'd probably be a landslide coming up here in the next election if it wasn't for inflation and the economy in general. But that economy won't last long. But the abortion issue will. The abortion issue has staying power. The economy might be bad for a year. I don't know. I have a lot of faith in our economy, recovering despite what the politicians do. Abortion's not the same kind of deal. It doesn't have any kind of automatic businessman or something working to fix it. Or companies. There's no vested companies or lobbyists that gain. There's no money on the table. Only people's lives. And people's lives and happiness, hate to tell you, but that doesn't rank much in Congress anymore. They don't really care what people need, want, or care about, except as it leverages their power. Abortion is such an issue. Leverages power. And right now, it gives Democrats more power, and they're going to be very inclined to keep it. Keep the situation just like it is. Interesting, isn't it? This is an ancient Texan rambling on about subjects I care about, that you may or may not care about. It's just the way it is. We're different, right? Hope you have a good one. This is your ancient Texan. Namaste.